Hello, this is Brian. Welcome back to my shop. Today I'm going to show you a jig that I made to sharpen my jointer knives. These are 6-inch knives. YouTube is already full of videos like this. But at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the results that I got. So stand by, let's do it. So I decided to make a jig like this. Nothing new. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and this idea was already there. One thing I'm going to point out though, as I go through this, some of the mistakes I made. See this distance right here? I wish I would have started out with a block of wood about another 1/4 of an inch wider, because that got kind of thin in there. There's a little web. And you're going to put pressure on the knives. And I'm kind of concerned that that's a little bit too small. So if I make another one, which I might, because this one is a 45 degree, and I'm going to talk about that later when I show you the results. In fact, the results are sitting right here. The knives are sitting right there. My knives are ground at 40 degrees, and then they're beveled to 45. So I might have to make another jig for 40 degrees. But this is what I did. And here are some ideas that I have if you're going to make your own. Round the top. Make the top nice and smooth and comfortable, because you're going to have a lot of pressure on this. It's going to take quite a while. You want it to be nice in your hand. I have to label the sides. I did that with my wood burner because this jig will only do 2 knives at a time. So you have to rotate the knives, and you kind of favor one knife. And I forget what side is which, so I labeled it. I think that's very helpful. And you will need to put screws in. Yes, I cut the slots very close to the thickness of the knives, and they fit in there nice and snug. But even at that, you want to put some pressure on them to hold them. Now, these are just number 8 screws. You can do this yourself in your shop. You don't need anything special. These are number 8 screws, and just drill and tap the wood. Drill with an 1/8 inch drill bit. You don't need a number 29 bit. Drill and tap the wood, and you tighten these screws up just so they touch the knife. That's all the pressure that they need, and that makes a difference in accuracy. So this is the jig I made. Turned out okay. Feels good in the hand. And by the way, I wanted to mention that to sharpen these knives, which we're going to get to right now, I used 3 pieces of 320, 2 pieces of 400, and 1 sheet of 600. So it doesn't take a whole lot of materials to sharpen knives. Now, let's move over and look at these knives. The first thing is, and I'll just tilt it like this, I have 3 knives taped together. And you can see I put a piece of, let me just pull this out here, do this a little bit better. I put the 3 knives together. They are sharp. They're scary sharp. And I put a little piece of blue paper with a yellow dot. And I'm going to show you why when we put this underneath the microscope to look at the results. So all 3 knives are done. I told you how much sandpaper it took, not a lot, and maybe a half hour of rubbing. So let's look at this edge that I got under my little magnifying glass. Stand by. Okay, here's the one knife underneath the magnifying glass, and I'm using a little bit of zoom on the camera. What you're looking at is just one knife with a piece of blue paper behind it for something to focus on, and a yellow dot. We'll talk about that. But you can see the difference in sheen right where the pointer tip is. That difference in sheen is where I beveled to 45 degrees. Then the balance of the dollar, which is kind of on the bottom, is what was angled at 40 degrees when the knives were new. The knives had a 45 degree bevel on them, but you can see the bevel now is way more pronounced than what it was. The bevel goes about halfway through the face of the knife. And you can see I put quite a bevel in it because I'm pointing at a nick that was in the knives. There was actually 2 nicks side by side from one of those little staples that's sometimes in wood. Yes, those are enough to ruin knives. I honed one of the nicks out, but this other one's just a little bit too deep, so that's where I stopped. And you can see that I beveled about half of the edge, which is more than what it had. And this is why I might need to make a 40-degree jig to put that 40-degree bevel back in these. But I have like 6 sets of knives and they're all sharp, so I don't know. And my jointer has really sharp knives in it right now, so I don't know when I'll put these in and try them. But look how even. This is what I wanted to show you. Look how even. Look at the line. You can see where my 600 grit, that's what I ended up with. I didn't go any higher than that. And look how shiny that is and nice. And look how even that is. Let me just pan back and forth. That's a real nice bevel. Remember, this is one knife that you're looking at. The duller on the bottom is the 40-degree bevel from the factory, and the top shinier part is my 600 grit bevel that I put in with this kit, or with this jig, I should say. So anyways, that's what I wanted to show you. I've seen a lot of videos online, but they don't show you the results. And I wanted to show you the results of what this little jig can do. Just one last look at it, and then you can make up your own dimensions. But make it like that, drill and tap it, works very nice, and you get results just like this. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video.